Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Some Laugh Podcast with the lads. Please remember to sign up to the Patreon, which is patreon.com/somelaugh.
Yes, for as little as £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, as well as our live shows, of which there's loads up now. We've got live shows from the Glasgow Glee, the Stand Glee, 2 from the Edinburgh Festival, including one with Paul Black, and another one that features a 40-minute sort of behind-the-scenes documentary thing we filmed a day at the Fringe, as well as the live show, which featured Vittorio Angeloni and Marianne Robinson.
A lot of extra content over there, as well as extra episodes of the three of us.
Yeah.
We've done heaps of them now, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
About to do another one now. I'm excited to share more time with you boys. You can get access to all that and more. We're building it up, aren't we? And there's a lot of fun over there. So please get on board. Helps us continue doing the podcast.
Helps us keep going and keep growing. So sign up to the Patreon for little as £3 a month. Aside from that, guys, enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Some Laugh Podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. Probably start by saying, so that is, so there was a role going for some film. We'll say, we can't even say what it is, whether it's a film. It's something that's going to be...
It could be a film, it could be a TV show.
Could be anything.
It could be a radio, it could be a podcast, it could be another podcast.
It could be anything.
But there was a thing that
Just watching
we
you
did a
like,
self-tape
I
for.
don't know what I can fucking talk about here, man.
Aye. Basically, we all went. I actually never went for it because I helped you film your self-tape, and then I fucking had to come back to edit this.
That's
so
right.
I'm glad I never done it now, because basically
Pointless.
you got the part that we'd all went for.
But you could have got it.
I
Imagine.
never went for it, but I don't think. I think
And the sliding doors different timeline. You could have been. I mean,
You're
you
on
could have
Martin's
been.
podcast talking about how you got it.
I couldn't compete with that hair, man. That's that's really what I aspire to, but fail to. Yeah, I would say
Mine's
so.
My hair's fucked, man.
No, it looks good.
I can't do anything with it. I tried to grow my hair twice and I got dumped both times.
Right.
What different lasses? It was the same girl.
Because they couldn't stick with you through the sort of mid period.
Through the ugly bit.
Aye.
I don't think the relationship was going to last either way, Martin. If that's all it took
That's
to...
the-
It's a good test,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Do you think there was something more?
Something
Do you think
underlying.
it was
I
my
think, yeah.
personality?
Must be the hair because I'm fucking great. Yeah, I don't know. Long distance both times actually though as well. So long distance and the hair. And I think then when they met me after the long distance and the hair was longer and I was like, I'm committing to this, they were disappointed because they saw how ugly I was. And I was going through my photo, what do you call it? Photo reel?
Camera roll.
Camera roll.
And I did come across some long-haired photos of me, clean shaven and long hair, and I looked fucking hack it.
Well, that was the first time I'd ever saw you. I'd seen sketches online that you had made, and I think it was maybe during lockdown. The driving instructor one, you had kind of long hair, wee glasses, clean shaven.
Oh, see, the clean shave, it's okay if you're beardy because it just looks like a caveman look. Whereas, sorry, I don't mean to keep pointing at you. But yours is good. Yours is what I think the hairdresser was telling me to look like. I just don't think I've got the face for it. Do you know what I mean? You've got a nice face.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
Could
So do you.
Oh, stop it. I should have gone out with you. You wouldn't have dumped me during that period. But then I had to get it cut because my agent, I was going up for a part and she was really like, Martin, we want you to get this part. Could you please cut that hair? And it was the assistant that said it to me first, and I was like, nah. And then the actual agent phoned me and was like, Martin, please, could you do it? So I did it then. Cut my hair. But I've never got to the long hair stage. Is that what you're aiming at? Are you wanting Jesus hair?
Nah, I've been longer than this, but this is about the limit, I think.
Yeah.
It's too much to handle.
I wonder what I would look like.
I'd love to see
That would be fantastic.
Sit a wee shoulder length.
You go for it, man.
I don't think I could physically. Like, I don't think
you
my
would
hair.
look mental.
It's a good way if you're
You'd
trying
look
to get out
funny
of
as fuck.
if you're trying to get out of a relationship, do it. Do it, because I got dumped twice when I was growing my hair, so you could.
I mean, so
Imagine if he does it now.
I know. Catherine's sitting there like, what the fuck's going on here? I just listened to that advice he got. No, I would like to see it. Do you know what I would like to do? Lose maybe a couple of stone and then I want to go clean shaven. I want to see, because I've not been clean shaven since like high school.
The jawline.
Yeah, just once I've got a wee jawline back, I want to see if I suit that.
I always flirt with that, and then you always regret it every time.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, my ex-girlfriend said when I was clean shaven that I looked disgusting.
I'm not a lot of luck with these fucking relationships.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think we weren't going out. I think they were just bullies. I thought we were going out, but we weren't.
You've had a lot of stuff like that though. You always so we met when we were filming Queen of the New Year. Me, Stu, and you, unlucky Jennings, and
Jenga.
Oh, it's fine.
Martin had this idea in the car that he was going to keep calling you Jenga and see if he got away with it. He was going to try and
See
get
how
you
long
that
it'll
name
be
card.
before this fucking podcast collapses.
I think Jenga's a good. You never been called that?
Not to my knowledge, but you know,
Jenko.
I'm not against it. Yeah, Jenko's what people used to call me in school.
Is Jennings not like a betting company?
Yeah, there is Jennings Bet Night. There's a lot of them in England. Every time I pass them, I always post a picture saying, started my new adventure.
Yeah, very good, very good. There was an MG Quinn electricians that I used to pretend to lasses it was my granda.
Really?
I don't know why, because it's
Yeah,
not
maybe
even
this is why you're not
maybe
getting much luck.
Yeah.
I've got to stop lying about my family's jobs.
It's funny that I remember when I used to do a paper round and there was one guy, I can't even mind his name now, but he had his name on his van and I used to always say like, oh, this is my most famous customer and all that, because he had like a name and I was like, always imagined him. He would never answer the door to give me the money, so he was this elusive figure. You know, just had his name on a van.
There was a van that's like McPherson Buchanan, wasn't there, or something? There was a truck.
Yeah,
It was
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Your baby with a double barrel name.
Yeah, one day.
together.
Did you? What is your nickname then? Does anyone call you?
Jenko.
Jenko.
So it's
Jenko
cool.
Unchained.
Just, I don't know, it's just what people
Like
do.
Kenko.
Well, I guess.
Jenko Unchained should be a solo podcast you do with like the pictures you will like tape over your mouth.
Yeah,
With, like, one
but
of
that
those
was
sensitive
the
guys.
idea when that you always slag me for saying that is because I thought it would be a good idea to do a show about leaving the call centre and call it Jenko Unchained, because it's like
That's good.
it's, you know, similar to me, you know, not being a wage slave anymore. Do you know what I mean? And then
don't know
you
if you
just
Don't think it holds up to much scrutiny.
Yeah, don't know if
you
you
know,
can compare
but-
yourself to the.
But that's funny
slave
because yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you have these like egotistical things. You go, it's going to be I'm going to have this big fucking, you know, name of a show or a big poster. I'm going to make a big splash, and that was like one of the ones like when you're sitting listening to music and then you go, fucking Jenko Unchained, and then
It feels good. It
and then you
felt
tell other
Yeah.
people and they just laugh at you.
That's most of my ideas. Whenever I come to here, I'm like, I've got this good idea. The Laszlo Kids is a screenplay, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
It's,
But did you not call your show Buchanan Galleries or something?
I
like that?
did.
We've been talking about this so much
Buchanan
recently.
Poo Station.
There was. Oh, I never called
Buchanan
it
Puss Station. Puss like poon.
pussy.
Nice man, that's great.
No, I never called it that. I like your
And
enthusiasm.
you can't say it. It's really under wraps. So now there's no lot of continuous in
There's an
development.
NDA.
Is it?
Steve's courting you for the Laszlo Kids remake.
I wrote when I was a wee guy. I wrote a screenplay called The Laszlo Kids. I think you'd really fit the role well if you're up for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Done.
Good. You don't need to audition or anything, or look at the script.
The next several guests we're getting in is really just it's the pitch fucking the script.
Basically it's a gangster film set in
It's like the
Glasgow.
Godfather.
It's very similar.
The Laszlo Kids, is it based on a true story?
No,
Okay, none of it.
Not
my
at all.
imagination. It's based on.
So it's just Glasgow gangsters. That's the general.
That's the whole idea, the whole unique selling point. There's a bit about a guy hasn't
It's a
seen his-
musical as well. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah, well, you could sing as well.
So, it's bits.
What I was going to say though, before we got off on a tangent there, we met on Queen of the New Year, and you always came in with like a new problem each day about these mad relationships you'd been on, you'd been in, and stuff like that. And it just feels like this is an extension of that, with people hating your hair and stuff.
Yeah, I think I did the first time I talked to you. Is I was telling you all about this mate of mine that I fucking hate,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
and then I was like, right, I sound like a dick.
Can we
but-
slag him out in the podcast?
No, because I can't even remember what mate it was I was raging at. Like
I've
I'm
got
always,
so many of them.
yeah, like my best mate is probably the mate that I moan about a lot. But I've got a couple, and it's what's happened is I now moan about all my mates to other mates so much I can see them getting more insecure that I'm moaning about them to other people.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what you. They've said to me like, if this is the way you talk about your best mate, what are you saying about me?
Yeah,
to
it's
other
a good
people.
question.
And I've gone, no, but I like you. But in my head, I'm going, I am. I've got a lot of issues with you as well. And I just think I'm not picking my friends right.
Okay.
You sound like a toxic friend to me, but I guess there's,
there's a comedian on the circuit, and he's like, he always like whenever somebody leaves a room backstage, he starts slagging them off, and then it's like that thing though. You go, what happens when I leave this room? What does he say about me?
But I would say I've got friends that I've been with for so long now that we just fuck each other off really quickly. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you don't have that. Do you not have
I know, yeah, that feeling. You can be more honest with the people that are really close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes from 0 to 100 a lot quicker, I think.
Are these mates for school or people you've known all your life?
One is, my best mate is a guy I've known since primary, and he lives around the corner from me. But he's such a devil's advocate, that's why it gets so heated. Look, this isn't even getting funny anymore because I'm getting emotionally but he's always like, like that face. Everything I say is like this. And I'm
Scrunched
like,
up.
scrunched. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is it now? What have I said? What? Yeah. Go.
I hate that.
So it feels like you're walking on eggshells around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still my best mate. Like, we are really close, but he just fucks me right off. He's got a girlfriend now, and he's a lot softer. Right, this is the big issue. My whole life, he always put me down, right? He used to slap me and stuff like that, right? And his big brother had to step in and be like, stop slapping him. And then...
This is when we done the live show, and I was like talking about...
Your tormentor.
My friend actually
I really linked to that. When you said that, I felt seen. Because he was... No, but...
Wait till you read the Laszlo Kids, by the way.
That's the role I was born to play.
But he was so cynical, he would rinse me for being expressive at all, do you know what I mean? And because I went to drama and stuff like that, and he would slag me off for that, or he would be like, oh, you're so loud, which I am loud, but things like that. And then he got this girlfriend, and his girlfriend's so lovely that he started softening, and he's taking pictures of dogs, and he's like, and I'm like, what the fuck's this? You wouldn't let me do that ever. And now, because you're in love, you get to do all this stuff. What? And I'm imploding inside because obviously now he's what he should be, a nice, caring person.
Aye.
But he still undercuts me in other ways, so I go off and rants, and he's like, you sound a bit cynical, mate.
You need to get him to grow his hair out so his girlfriend leaves him.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying.
I relate to that so much though, because I know a guy like that, and I think ultimately what that shows you, right, is the reason that he was always slagging you off for going to drama or whatever is because he was insecure about it, because he obviously maybe even had aspirations to do that sort of thing himself, right? And then he was seeing a new stuff that made him insecure about what he was doing. Because I've got a mate that was like, basically, like, when we all went to uni after school, he went and got a trade, and then he was like, oh, uni wankers, not. Even though he could have done it, but he just, for whatever reason, not. And then, like, a couple of years later, went to uni and started doing all this stuff, and then was doing all the stuff, like you say, that he slagged us off for, and we weren't able to do it, and you go, no, it's because fucking you were feeling bad about it, so you're trying to make us feel bad, but just because you're not happy with yourself.
Exactly. That's what it is.
So much of it comes down to insecurity, doesn't it? All this stuff.
But I suppose it's school as well, isn't it? And the environment wasn't very, like school wasn't a place where it was alright to do, like, drama and all that kind of stuff. So he was just reflecting what was around him. And now, I've got to say, a lot of my skits, though, are funny things he's said. So if I ever made any money from anything I've written, I would have to be like, by Martin and this person as well, because I was like, because it's, I would be bang out. Like, he's very imaginative, and it is a shame really that the school scenario stopped him from doing drama and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Because he actually it didn't stop me.
Yeah, he stopped himself, really.
To an extent, you could argue that, because his mum actually did say, I would take you to that, and he's like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. Whereas, like, my dad was kind of like very pushy at, like, making us do activities. That is the difference between, like, our family and other families on the same street, because my dad was very like, do you want to go to this arts club, do you want to go to this, blah, 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 and would take us to stuff, whereas other families didn't bother. Do you know what I mean? And that, like, was a bit of a divide just in general, I think. But,
why do you think that was? Is it just your dad's upbringing
I don't know, he probably did fuck all when he was wee, so
and
he's
he
probably
felt like he wanted to do that.
We went to the seminary. My dad was meant to be a priest when, from 1st to 6th year, and then I think I actually really enjoyed the preschool. And there was a pedo there, but I don't think the pedo had anything to do with my dad, so he had an alright time there. And And I think the activities that you could do there were brilliant, and there was loads of activity. Didn't do science, which is funny.
Yeah.
At the preschool, they were like,
against the idea.
Until the 80s, and they were like, right, we better catch up now.
Yeah.
My dad knew guys that dropped out of the preschool, went back to normal school, and they hadn't done any science, and they had to go back a year and stuff like that.
Really?
Because like the teaching wasn't great. They would teach you like Greek, and they would teach you like Latin, all these useless things.
Yeah.
And then like if you went out into the real world, you were like, fuck, that's useless. That's fucking useless, all of that. But maybe it was because of his time at the seminary, and they had loads of activities there. Like you would do drama at the seminary. And he, because it was all boys, he would have to play all the lassie parts. So he would like, he never told us about it for years, because it turned out he was playing like Portia and Merchant of Venice, and like he was always, I don't know, he must have been a pretty boy, but he was always given the lassie roles. So maybe it was that he thought, I need to try and mirror that somehow.
And he's pushed it onto you.
And pushed it on.
And you're glad that he done it?
I think so. I think it is the difference, because we stay in a shit area. I mean, I like it, but you know what I'm saying? It's quite rough. So like, I think it was the difference between us and a lot of the other Waynes on the street. Do you know what I mean?
So was that hard though? Like if your pals and stuff are like slagging you for it, and other people in the street couldn't do that or don't have those opportunities, and you're doing it, was it quite hard doing that?
It is to an extent, right? But then what happened was I went to Pace Youth Theatre, and they had a casting directory, and you could get bits on the telly. And I got a part in Limmy's show, Early Doors, at like when I was like 14.
That's right.
And straight away it's not slaggable anymore. Even though Limmy's show, I loved it, but not everyone loved it. Some people thought it was weird, but the fact that you were on the telly, they were like, oh, what? That's class. And all of a sudden it wasn't uncool. Yeah. But yeah, you had to push through the initial bit.
But that's so common for MD. Obviously, a lot of parts of Glasgow and any really working class area, it's like when you go to school, basically anything that isn't football or like, you know, these fighting, these couple of things, drinking and all that when you get older, like anything out with that is so against the norm that like you're a weirdo, even if you were like a goth in school for us or whatever. But it's like people that would maybe like it's only really people that have got parents that maybe get them into something like fucking playing tennis or fucking going and acting or singing or something like that. But then if you ever then go out and you meet people from other parts of the world or whatever, or different socio-economic backgrounds, you realise that fucking they went to schools but every cunt done hundreds of shit. You know, like people ski and do all this mad stuff, and you're like, I don't know anyone who does this. I remember like meeting a guy and he done all this stuff, played the bagpipes and that stuff, and I was like, he's like, what's your hobbies? And I'm like, I like to watch football. Like, that's it. But, you know what I mean? So it's like you need that, I think, to because obviously there is so much pressure to just like no day out with the norm or whatever. But then again, this just comes because everybody, I guess, feels insecure if they don't want to. If they can't do it. Because I remember when I was young and I'd like, me and my cousin I would talk about going, we should go and do an acting class and all these sort of things when we were like fucking 9 or something, but like we wouldn't even have known
how to start doing it.
I
mean, some of it obviously is like you know, you got to pay for these kind of classes or whatever. But even like the cheaper ones like Scouts, right? It was so slaggable. Like, you know what I mean? No one wanted to go to Scouts because they were like, who the fuck would I go to Scouts? But then they liked building their own fires, so I was like, boys, you would do so well at Scouts. Do you know the amount of badges you'd get for this?
seen somebody tying their laces like that. Do you know how to do a knot properly?
Well, actually, our Scouts was shite. Actually, I say that. We just played football all the time. I think the clocks early.
At Scouts, actually.
Just played football.
But that was more everybody. Most people in my school went to Cubs and Scouts.
I went to Cubs, and then I think I dropped it by the time.
Yeah, by the time it came to the Scouts age, I was like, fuck that.
I think I've told you this before, but know how so when you're in the Cubs, right, you need to call the leaders not Akela and all the stuff you're about, and then when you get to the Scouts, you get to realise their real name, and the real name of the guy who led the Scouts was called Willie Burns.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
The STD name. We had it was so funny how shit our Scouts were. I really liked my Scouts, by the way, before I say that it's shit. But I mean, like, everyone was there just for football. So, like, guys would come along and be like, I actually want to learn about knots, and they would leave and go to another Scouts. But when we would go to the camp,
to tie the nets onto the goalpost.
That was the only knot we knew. But there was... Yeah, at the start of it, right, at the start of a camp, you would meet all the other Scout teams, the Scout, I don't know what the fuck you call them, and they would be like this, Kayla, we will do our best. Whereas we would go like this, Kayla, we will do our best. And it was just we were actually one of the Catholic scout groups, so maybe that's why we always thought that we were different from the
the Scouts like a Catholic thing? Because I went to Boys Brigade for a hot minute, and that was the Proddy one.
That's what I thought in my head, but I think a lot of the Scouts are Protestant.
Oh, are they?
I didn't think Scouts was.
Or is it mixed? Maybe not.
Because a lot of my people in school went to it, and it was like most of us went at the Catholic school basically. So it's like, I don't know what it was. I think there is a thing. The Boys Brigade, is that more of the more? Maybe that's more aligned with Church of Scotland or something. Who the fuck knows? But I don't know. But there probably is something like that. But
it's funny how much of this podcast is us trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in our childhood.
I think, to be honest, they were just happy that you'd fucking come along, pay your £3 and then go to the tuck shop and get some fucking Highland brew, whatever they fucking used to say.
Did you do karate as well?
I done
briefly.
No. On the street we did karate.
I done a spell of doing taekwondo.
So what's that? Is that when judo's when you grab them into it?
Taekwondo's kicking, a lot of kicking, and I just went for like 2 weeks because I actually, funnily enough, at Cubs, this wee guy kept decking us all. He was amazing at decking cunts, swiping your legs and you'd fall and hit your head. And he was just a wee guy. He was like 2 years younger than us, and we're like, oh, he's class. How does he know how to do that?
The legs on him.
The legs on him. And he was like, I go to Taekwondo, and I was like, I need to learn that to deck cunts. and then I went for 2 weeks, and it was just a lot of like running up and down the hall, and he just
had a natural talent.
Yeah, he didn't teach you how to deck, so I don't know where he learned that.
Well, you obviously didn't have the patience to go, right, enough of the news. Like before, it's that man Fable. It's like, oh, how do I fucking, how do I develop mastery? And the fucking guru guys like, right, walk with me into the water and all that shit. You're like, I don't want to get wet.
Yeah, that was like the step too far for me. I was like, I can't be arsed with that.
Don't want to run, just teach me how to deck.
You got to find inner peace before you learn how to kill people.
You do.
That's how I looked at karate. Karate was shite because you didn't get to hit them. It was always punched this close to your face.
Right.
Oh, really? And blocking, was it a lot of blocking?
There was a lot
more
of
acting for you.
Yeah, more acting.
Yeah, just pretend to punch people.
Yeah, I didn't know that you went to act when you got hit. So I was going like, but karate, I just thought then it wasn't really teaching you how to move, because when you take a punch, it's not like that.
No.
It hurts.
See, when you go to karate competitions, then do you get hit in them?
I don't think so. I think it's just all about the look. So if you look hot, always the hot guys won. I don't know. I don't really know. I never got as far as the competitions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Karate Kid was always...
He was a good looking boy, wasn't he?
Oh, aye.
I tried to do karate as well for like 2 weeks, and I got my mum to buy me the passport to fighting. You
said to China or something.
got my Chinese passport.
You go to the big championships.
No, like, they did make you buy that, a wee passport to fight.
They do, you're right. I fucking forgot about it.
And it was like 20 quid, and then I got it.
Hold
and
on,
then
what is that then?
It's a license.
A license, aye.
It's a license to kill.
Like you need to register your fists because they're lethal weapons.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I was white belt. I hadn't even, and you don't even hit people as well, but I'd done like 2 weeks, and then I was like, this is shite. And I made her buy me like the wee gown and the wee white belt and all that sort of stuff.
You keep making your mum do stuff.
Was that a threat? Like, were you doing 2 weeks of loads of stuff?
Yeah, because I'd done 2 weeks of drama school as well.
Did you? Where was that?
I don't know, it was fucking Bears Den or something.
Nice.
I don't know what it was called, I reckon, but it was shite. I hated it.
Really?
Sorry.
No, I wouldn't go back. But yeah, they make you like pretend to be flowers and stuff like that. It's hard.
We had it because I got chucked in at the deep end and it panicked me. I had to like read.
This is here 2 weeks of swimming now.
Yeah, I was going to say wet again.
I done that at the Cubs. Actually, I got my badges and that.
Swimming.
I did.
We were so shite.
10 lengths.
You know, whenever we would go to meet the other scout groups, the scout leader would be like, quick, sew them on before you see them, so that it looked like we'd done badges because we hadn't done it.
We had fucking mental badges, like an ironing badge. Did you get like? They had to iron your clothes.
Just for ironing the badge on.
Iron the badge on, and you get a badge for it.
That's good. We got a fighting badge.
Did you?
Yeah, they put us in a circle and just see who wins. That'd be cool.
That was at karate.
Yeah, that was. I always get them mixed up.
I went to drama and they were like, oh, there was this fucking play and it was like I had to be a radio DJ and I had to like read the script that they hadn't given me beforehand.
Listen to BBC Sounds.
That's what got me into that.
It's getting back to fucking working your favour.
That's true, yeah. But I just panicked and I was like, I can't read this without learning it. So
Did you do drama, Mark?
No, I think no, really. Basically, I had it in primary school, like
I
now and
hated
again.
drama.
But like,
I was more like your pal. I found it really embarrassing and cringy.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I was kind of wanted to do it, but again, I was probably like too scared of
Yeah.
what people would
Look
say.
at us
about it.
now,
pals
tarts
would
and the lights.
I know.
Dancing.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, drama kids are annoying though as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. I always thought it was like a safe haven for like the different kids. Do you know what I mean? So it was nice in that sense. But and also there was more girls there. Like you talk to more girls if you were that way inclined.
And
And
they're like, oh, I hate your hair, stop talking to me, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, get that cut.
You probably never had a beard at that point, so I can't imagine.
You look disgusting constantly. But yeah, no, I mean, I like drama, but I think we had a really crazy drama teacher who was like really focused on. She got some people into drama school, and I think she was. I don't really know much about her, but she was a bit like. Do you know how you hear about lassies having really cruel ballet teachers? She was like that, but with drama. And some of it was like really inappropriate. Like we were doing like Titus Andronicus, which if you don't know the story of Titus Andronicus, a woman gets like her arms and legs chopped off and sexually assaulted. And we were doing it at like 12, 13. I'm like, I came home and told my dad I was doing that. He's like, I don't want you doing that. And then I had to go back to him and be like, I can't work on this one. Why? My dad says I'm not like, okay, that's fine. But you know, like it was just inappropriate. Like why would I? And then we'd have these, just the pressure to do these like improvs, but you were like, it was all just like teenagers doing improvs.
Aye.
So they're obviously horny teenagers. Go on, guys. Romantic improv, on you go. I'm like that, just clamped down, like, oh my god, am I supposed to kiss people? Other people were just not even thinking about it. They were just like, fucking going for it.
Really?
And I think that's mad.
Weird.
Imagine facilitating a room and all the young people are kissing.
That is weird.
That's insane, eh?
Well, there's like I kind of when you do improv classes and stuff like that, there's obviously a kind of thing of like basically probably no touching. I think is probably the kind of unspoken rule.
Yeah.
So it's mad that they would not even enforce that with fucking Wayne's.
That woman's booted out now.
Yeah.
And
And rightly so.
the youth theatre now is brilliant because it's run by people who are very good at it. The other guy who's in charge of it was embezzling funds as well.
There you go.
So, and that was her husband. So it was, it was a
They were
bad
fucked up.
bunch at the top,
Yeah.
and then they've been ousted, and now it's a great bunch.
Well, that's good to hear. And so you obviously got into that quite early because you said you'd done Limmy show when you were 14. So had you just been doing like you'd been going to? So is it just like after school you go to drama classes or what? How's
Yeah,
it work?
they were like a proper cult, man. Like Pace at that time, the woman was not Pace. Pace had like the
What's
youth-
Paisley at?
Paisley Arts Centre Education or whatever.
Is that the one that Jared Butler went to?
He might have done. Richard Madden went there.
Right.
And James McAvoy went there briefly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've got quite a few like
Aye.
quite big names that went there.
That's cool.
Is Pace the kind of people who done all the plays in school, the mad drugs
think they
plays?
might.
Yeah,
Aye.
Choices for Life.
Right.
Yeah, I did that.
On your turf,
Did you?
Jennings.
Oh, is that?
On your turf.
No, I never done the drugs place.
Yeah.
Mark
You've
did
done a bit of acting.
like fire safety ones and stuff.
for old people.
What? Because were they playing with fire?
Yeah.
Playing with fireworks, guys.
They love their sparklers sold for that.
But no, so you done because I remember that Choice for Life thing in school, and so that it was Pace because that's when I know the name.
Robbie's a junkie. That was one of the moves that we had to do. We were in the background going junkie, and then when I hit 14, I got the role of Robbie. Yeah,
Wow.
still talking about it.
Was that your like career highlight?
Yeah, it was big stuff at the age of 14. But yeah, no, we did a lot of so there was Pace Youth Theatre, and then if you got into this really crazy drama teacher's top tier of classes called theatre school, and it was meant to be kind of prep for if you were auditioning for drama school. But it ended up it was just nonsensical. Like you would end up, she was obsessed with this. RP thing, right? You know, like renounced pronunciation.
Yeah.
But
Queen's
obviously,
English sort of.
Received pronunciation.
oh, is it? Yeah, because it wouldn't be renounced.
It's funny because
You know
the
how
other
much I
guest we've had for
fucking-
Paisley was Liam Farrelly, you know, and
does not have-
he couldn't even say elocution. This is a recurring theme.
You kind of know Liam, don't you?
Yeah, well, we're from the same area.
Yeah.
He, though, stays in the nice bit. He's in the bit next to the McDonald's and all the nice new
I love
houses.
how that's the nice bit of Paisley, the McDonald's.
Stunning views of the McDonald's.
Well, they've got a wall. They've got a wall round them, and then there's us.
Aye, to keep you out.
Yeah. And they just
not
draw
allowed
us
to
in with this
McDonald's.
lovely smell on the other side of the wall.
So he's trying to play down how he's making it sound more like a band, whereas you're trying to make yourself sound more.
Yeah, you're
It's
meeting in the middle.
Well, it's weird. I don't know. My mum and dad were just very like. I think my dad, because he had Irish parents, he never really talked dead broad.
Aye.
You know, when he first went to school, because he had Irish parents, he spoke in an Irish accent, even though he was brought up in Paisley, which I think's mental. And then my mum had maybe like a more broad speaking family, if you know what I mean. But she was very like, oh, don't talk like that, Martin. Just very like, don't.
So she was worried about the. Is that because you were going to drama and stuff, or was it just in general?
I don't know why. I don't know, because she's a fucking snob. No, kidding, I don't know.
And so that was the RP stuff then. So
So the RP thing in theatre school, this PACE group, was like a weird RP because it wasn't like the English RP. She wanted us to like talk like Alan Cummings. Do you know that kind of way
yeah.
that, I don't know, it's a kind of clipped sound where everything is quite placed like that. And she wanted us to hit all of our T's and hit it really properly. Like enunciating every word.
Single.
The only person I can reference is Alan Cumming, because when I hear him, I'm like, that must have been what she was aiming for.
Yeah.
So a lot of the kids then,
Or what about kind of Gerard Butler had this? He's got a sort of transatlantic a wee bit. Would she want that? kind
no,
of
it
thing?
wouldn't be like that, but some of the kids did sound like that. But I know what you mean, the kind of Gla-merican.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
fuck knows what's happened to him.
Gla-merican, I've not heard that.
He's from Gallahildo as well, the same area that me and Liam Farrelly are from.
Oh, right.
But he denies it. My aunt
How
married.
close is he to the McDonald's?
I don't know. My aunt married says I could walk you to where he stayed. But he
He
said
didn't go there before 300 for that.
he says though he stayed in Ralston, the like posh area in Paisley. Ralston, if you're really posh. So he's really denying. He's a Gallagher denier.
Usually you would get people try to up their
to big it
working
up.
class
Yeah,
status. And
he's apparently not.
maybe he thought back then that would have held him down in the drama and arts and
Maybe.
all that sort of stuff.
And he shot himself in the.
And nowadays it'd be like get him into more work. If
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Paisley's like fucking Scotland's version of fucking Compton or something.
That's it. Paisley's got shitholes in nice areas, so you'll get a lot of people in the nice bits saying, "Oh, I'm for Paisley," and I'm like, "You fucking stay in Thornley Park, fuck up! You're top of the big hill, and we're all the little people fighting. You're watching us." But no, what was I saying? Something about the RP, right? That weird Alan Cumming voice that she drilled into us. Then when they got ousted, and then came the really good new teachers. They were like, it took us ages to like drill that voice out of the kids.
Yeah.
Because they were all talking like this. And you know, if you're going up for parts, like,
Yeah.
you would go into the audition room and they'd be like, why the fuck are you talking like that?
And that's something that people criticise a lot with fucking River City or like Scottish
Yeah.
stuff. It's like it's like a kind of fake Scottish voice that nobody's
Yeah.
really got.
Yeah.
But then you kind of need to talk with that to be understood. And then if you're thinking maybe if it goes out in England or whatever, so it's always a hard line to walk, isn't it?
But I do this voiceover for an advert, and it was down south, so they kept drilling into me. Can you just enunciate that a bit more? Can you just enunciate? I'm not understanding what you're saying there. And by the time the advert went out, they were getting all these comments going like, "That's definitely not a Scottish guy. That's definitely an English person putting on a Scottish accent." I was like, fucking hell, like, I can't win.
Yeah.
I can't be myself or you don't get a job.
Yeah.
And then when you are not yourself, you're getting fucking rinsed till the end of time.
Yeah.
And what about, see this new thing that we can't talk about? What kind of voice you doing in that?
I'm really nervous about that because it's American, right? And I'm worried that I'm doing a Gla-merican accent without meaning it. Do you know, like, to be understood that by accident I'm slipping into like a voice like that, man? You know? That's what I'm really worried about. So I'm trying to pull it back and make myself as broad as I can, but I don't know, I haven't heard it yet, what was recorded. I went out and did Camp America when I was like 18, and I watched a video of me in Camp America, and because I couldn't be understood, I was slipping into this kind of voice, man. And I just, I'm so embarrassed by that. I'm really worried that that's what I've done when I went out and filmed last summer.
I think it sounds alright, to be honest.
But at least that's a part, and that you could be like, that's the character's voice. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like in Camp America, you can't be getting away with that's a part.
That was me.
Playing the part of a wank.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just hard. You fucking would speak to American people and they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So
But you have to be understood as well. It's not like
it's
Yeah.
it makes
communication.
sense. Yeah, it's just good communication.
But then I suppose there's an argument for if you do like your sort of natural accent, and then maybe they'll pick it up over the time, over the years, and it'll be more accepted
I gotta be
because
this trailblazer.
yeah, exactly.
But I find you get people who beef up their like Scottish accent so much that it's actually not how we sound. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, you
Like,
can do the other way.
yeah.
Yeah,
My
it's-
uncle down south, he talks more and more broad, and you're like, you don't sound like that. What are you talking about? Making up slang words. Do you know what I mean? Just things like, I don't know.
I hate all the pure old-fashioned Scots that people sometimes trying to. It's like an
Aye.
affected thing, and you're like, nobody actually talks like this. It's like, oh, it's brawn, the weeks and the and you're like, shut up.
Pure dead brilliant. sort of
that.
stuff.
All that
Choked
Tito
it, man.
stuff.
But aye,
Yeah.
but you know the stuff. It's like stuff that the way that we talk in the fucking pure 1400s, like Nictus brawn, like just all this pure old-fashioned language. You're just like,
That's actually a protected language, Scots.
Yeah.
Mark.
nah, no, but I don't know.
Someone else is trying to
There's
get
a-
creative
it is an
grants here.
No, but it's an ongoing. I think it is a discussion. What's
Yeah.
like a language and what's like a dialect, and sometimes they're at it.
Yeah,
Come on, if I can, you can't be saying I'm bilingual because I can understand Ur Wully. Like that's fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? But like, I think we get so jealous of people that can talk. Posh people can talk English and French, so we're like, well, I've got fucking 2 languages as well. Do you know what I mean? No.
no, that's so true. Because I done English language at uni, and like they talk about Scots in it and that, and people want to say it's a language, and if they want to say it, I don't have a problem with people thinking that, whatever. But ultimately,
But they're wrong.
no,
Sounds like you do.
but also in Scotland, I mean, there's so many different accents, and there's things that people say in fucking Aberdeen and shit that people don't say in
That is
Glasgow. But
fucking
like,
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They talk like that. Do you know what I mean?
but like, fuck off.
No. Anywhere that says Ken, they deserve a slagging.
They choked us.
I've had that kicked out. I've been in Glasgow too long.
No, I'm kidding.
Did you used to say Ken?
Yeah, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I didn't know
You
that.
know what I mean, man.
The thing is, though, we must be more anglicised, and that's probably more embarrassing for us.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Aye.
That we're actually, I'm saying that's embarrassing, that Limmy thing, like that fucking accent, but actually, we must be the more anglicised ones.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, what
We're
people
sold out.
about the Scots are trying to reclaim it in a way. So fair enough, actually. But
Yeah.
We
And
say
then back-
Quam at school.
What's that?
Ken what I mean. KWAM.
Quam?
Quam. Just a bit of slang.
Because it's just a
Ken what I
short
mean.
Wow. Go on.
No
I mean-
qualms.
That's
Yeah,
what I
different.
meant.
Do you like end your sentences with like, eh?
I probably did when I was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
But
You're
I've been here too
listening
long now.
back to him doing it in fucking summer camp in America. You're listening to you know fucking a beach in Burnt Island.
I mean, fucking, we're too cynical though. Like, I just used to call. People are for independence for Scotland. I'm for independence for Paisley and Glasgow, and then the rest of you go, fuck yourselves. Maybe Largs, just so we can get a wee trip.
I've also Paisley's kind of like Glasgow's Texas because it's fucking massive. It's on the south and a lot of people get shot. But it's, do you know what I mean? It's like it's amazing how big Paisley is to me. I've also
Yeah, it is. I think they'll be eat up other areas.
Aye.
So people think that Elderslie and like Johnston is Paisley and Linwood,
Aye.
but it's not. They're their own. We don't want anything to do with them. Very insular society.
But do you feel like for Paisley, because if we're from like Clydebank, and I think we would always try and upgrade to Glasgow, even though it's Western Bartonshire. Is Paisley like that as well, or are you like, no, we are different from Glasgow?
I used to be like that because I remember going to Glasgow as a wee boy, being like, oh my god, it's like New York. And then as I've got older, I'm like, fuck Glasgow, man. This is where it's at, and it's only because the council tax is higher in Glasgow. I just refuse to move there. Do you know what I mean? But no, I think there is. I like Paisley.
Yeah,
Not
got a
many.
good airport.
It's got a good airport. I used to slag it off and want to like move away. But I think having done that, whenever I come back, I'm like, it's great. It's got everything that you need. We got a
Full
Greg's, got a
circle.
Pure Gym.
I've got
It's all of life right there.
what's
isn't it?
that? There's a fucking.
There's an M&S now.
Is there?
There used to be an M&S outlet. Now we've got an M&S food.
What's this?
That's a
when you know.
gentrification. So what was it like when you got the part in Limmy show? How did you find that?
Yeah, I feel real bad that I just said go fuck yourself to the rest of Scotland. Sorry.
That's
I
all right, you
shouldn't have
can't
said
take it
that.
back now. It's
I
done,
know, it's
it's
done.
done, mate.
We're not cutting that out, man. Sorry.
Sweating the rest of the time. Tripping up over my words because I'm just thinking about that over and over again. What was that like in school? Yeah, but it helped in school just in general. Like, and also I was like obsessed with Limmy, so it was very cool. It was like kind of meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's like the best thing that's come out of like Scottish comedy
Aye.
in like what 10, 15 years nearly or something like that. Do you know what I mean? He's so good. No offense to you guys, but well, he's not
Present company excluded, I imagine.
Yes, of course.
but do you know what I mean? I think he's so good. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, he's
he's so
fucking
alternative,
Original,
like,
aye.
and he's you know, and he is appreciated outside of Scotland. I think that's what I think's amazing about him.
Yeah.
Is that like Tim Heidecker had him on his podcast, and Matt Lucas and that all really love him down south, and Noel Fielding, like, and it's because he's unique, but he also does represent a lot of our own pattern. Like, you know, people watch Kevin Bridges, and I always feel when I watch Kevin Bridges, I'm like, like that's our pattern, that's great, that's getting represented. Limmy does that, but he also hits it with a weird uniqueness as well of his own.
Yeah, he's got like such a
Flavor.
weird, unique style and like outlook on the world because of what his upbringing.
If you're a mad freak anywhere in the world, you will relate to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It transcends language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Bean. It's just even-
It is amazing though how much he has enjoyed though
Aye.
abroad, and actually in Scotland though it's quite divisive. I think a lot of people are like that. They either love him or they don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that was the
yeah.
case when he first
Yeah,
came
that's what I
out,
was
but I
gonna
think
say.
now he's kind of more widely accepted as just being a mad comedy legend.
Yeah. And they've missed a trick by not just giving him whatever TV show
Yeah,
he wants,
100%.
because now he's
It's
just
crazy,
not doing
isn't
it at all.
Yeah.
But he is, so it was cool for that because I felt very like, what's the word? Where you feel like it's affirmed, affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were like, right, cool. Doing drama isn't totally embarrassing, and actually it was worthwhile dipping my toe into that.
So did you have to like audition for that? Was he in the?
Audition.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually. Yeah.
Was he in the sort
And then
of?
I auditioned for the third season, like 3, and I didn't get it.
Did you get a beard by then? Well, no, we need somebody that looks disgusting. Actually.
So I started to be too good looking for the show, do you know what I mean? That's what it was, too hot.
But there was like that. Obviously, the first season was a different cast from season 2 and 3, or series 2 and 3. I should
Yeah,
probably say.
yeah.
Probably hate that I was calling it
I know,
season 1, 2, and 3.
sorry.
Trying to get a job in America.
That's fucking.
But like, so it's like I guess maybe just wanted completely different people from the first series.
Yeah, but they auditioned me, so they dangled it in front of me and snatched it away. Which, you know, that was probably fun for them.
Yeah.
Bullying me.
Speaking of meeting your heroes, I don't know if you're comfortable with this or not, but you know we can cut it out if not. I heard a story third hand from our mutual friend Connor Riley, director. When me and you are both weirdly in his documentary about his cock.
Oh, yeah.
I like you really seriously. Yeah, his cock, you say. But we went to this life drawing class. This is by the by, but Connor that night told me a story of you, and I don't know, I feel like I've mixed up the details, but I've told loads of people this story because I find it hilarious. But it's about you working with quite a famous actor and what you said to them. Do you know what I'm talking about? You asked for advice and they were playing like quite a dark role, and they said that when you play a dark role, you need to really access dark thoughts.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah.
We can bleep the name or whatever if you need to.
I was smashed. I don't drink anymore because I used to fucking do stuff like this all the time.
I think it was the funniest thing ever.
I went up to a guy and he was playing a big part for National Theatre Scotland, and it was like a 3-hour play. I'd been in a play that afternoon at Play Pie and a Pint, and on the last show, you know, you get free drinks. So I was fucking bluttered, and then I turned up to this 3-hour National Theatre Scotland show, right? And I just kept fucking drinking the whole way through it, and by the end I was with my mate, I was pure hugging him and that. fucking greeting or not. And then, actually, I don't think I was crying. I threw that in there. Anyway, and then I went...
Just to show you get range.
Versatility.
Can you tell us the name and we can bleep it out? Or
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not that famous.
all right,
All right. In the retelling, that got very famous.
Oh, really? Because it's Brian
Connor
Ferguson.
told me it was fucking Ian McKellen.
That's so funny. What? He's
It's funny how stories. Well, maybe that's the version he got.
maybe
I don't
got
know.
mixed up from Extras, the Ricky Gervais
Yeah.
thing where Ian McKellen's giving him the acting.
Well, right.
Listen, the 5,000 people I've told this, it was Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen. There's a couple of stories that he may be mixing up, but nothing with Ian McKellen.
Okay.
I don't. Oh no, Ian McKellen came to my drama school and I asked him a question, and I went, "Do you ever hate acting?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Brilliant." And then Daniel Craig came the week after. I asked him the same question. He was like, "No." I was
it's
like,
just you,
"Fucking
mate."
hell, man! The only guy that fucking hates this." But
They probably didn't have mates who were just slagging them off for doing it.
I think that's it. Got a lot of kind of internal hatred. And they might be mixing it up with a story. I got smashed and I spoke to Olivia Colman, right?
Yeah, that was mixed into this story somehow.
Was it?
That she overheard it or something.
Oh, fucking no.
Now, Connor's butchered this big
He's
time, yeah.
morphed so many stories into one.
It's a good story, though.
It might be a better story. The original might be shit. I was smashed at South Bank Awards because this play I was in was up for one, right? And the director introduced me to Olivia Colman, and I was like, oh, fucking, I was bluttered. I was like, you were in that fucking film, pure swearing loads. You were in that fucking film, Tyrannosaur, weren't you? The more drunk I got, the more bammier I would get.
Arguably, you need RP at this time.
And then, you were in that fucking film, Tyrannosaur, weren't you? And she was like,
Peter Mullan.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, Peter Mullan, he went to school with my mum, called her Crystal Tips. If you see him, tell him I'm going to kick his fucking cunt in. She didn't understand a word that I fucking said. And she was like, all right. And then I met Peter Mullan because we did like a musical version with NTS of one of his films that he wrote. And I fucking was like, all right, mate. Like, because I told so many people this story, I felt like I couldn't back down. So all his family came in and they were chatting and hugging people. And I was like, right, mate. Remember Linda McGregor? Called her Crystal Tips in 1975, mate. I've been telling people I'm going to kick your curtain. And he was like, what? And he just hugged someone else because someone else. And I was like, pure sweating. And I was like, that didn't go down as well as I thought it would. Now, the original story has got fuck all to do with that.
Right.
Can I just, before we go on this, what the fuck does Crystal Tips mean?
It
I
was
thought you meant to say tits.
No, I think it was a cartoon with frizzy hair of the time.
Just slagging.
Yeah. Crystal tits? I don't even know what that would
No.
mean.
No,
Brittle
don't.
breasts? Is that what that means? But, right, wait, what was the original celebrity story? Brian
You
Ferguson.
asking? Yeah.
He's a
Good
great
question.
Scottish actor and he was playing Cyrano de Bergerac for National Theatre of Scotland. I shouldn't have put in his name because I actually really hope he doesn't remember this.
we can bleep it if you want.
No, he doesn't come out of it badly.
He doesn't come out of it badly, but I'm worried he remembers it. I went up to him after he did Cyrano de Bergerac, and like I just said about 10 minutes ago, I was drinking the whole day, and I went up to him and I was like, mate, that was fucking class. I heard you played Hamlet. And he was like, aye. I was like, oh, fucking hell, that must have been intense. How was that? He's like, aye, you got to go to some dark places for Hamlet. You got to go to some, dark thoughts. I was like, aye, pedo thoughts, eh? And he just was and he just moved away. I don't know why. And I was like, and I was like, mate. And they were like, we just saw it. I know, why did you say that? And I was like, I don't know.
I like the thought is, I like the idea that as he's walking away, you're like, Mum, I went to school with Shakespeare. I'm going to kick your cunt in.
Just threatening everyone who fucking wronged me.
I've just enjoyed every time I've seen Ian McKellen, and he pops up a lot. I've just thought, my wee pal Martin's asked if he thinks pedo thoughts.
It makes all those stories together. I'm really sorry though, because that is
they're all good individually.
Do you think? I mean, asking Ian McKellen if he hates acting was probably a stupid question.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a while.
But
He
he's-
could have got out.
He probably can't tell a room full of eager, up and coming actors that he does, because it'd probably be a bad look. But maybe he does hate it.
Maybe if you framed it differently, you said, do you ever get to a point where you struggle with acting, or you think, oh, what's the point in this,
Can't
or
do
whatever,
this.
but if you just go, do you
Do you
hate
hate
this?
it? Do you hate your job?
Well, I just kind of thought, like, do you not get moments or parts of it that you don't enjoy? And
I think
That's a better phrasing of the question, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like if we're all in like the sort of arts and stuff, and I have that all the time. I get those feelings about stand up, and I feel like you can't really admit it because it is such a privilege to do this job, and it's such an amazing fucking job to do at times, and a lot of people would kill to do this.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I hate it at times, and people are like, well, you're a fucking go and fucking work in the co-op again.
Yeah. And also, you need to look happy to be there every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Showbiz, put on a face and all that sort of stuff.
I think what I meant overall as well was because of things like drama being your thing at school, and then you then go on and you do a bit of work. I almost felt like I'd locked myself into this career and that I had to really go for it. And there were moments on stage. I remember I did like this West End show, so it was going to be on for like 5 months. And at the start of it, I ran on, panicking from the bullies. I go in and pull in. I jump into a locker and I close the door. And I remember, like, as I close the door, so the audience can't see me, I just broke character. And I was like, and I was like, I fucking hate this. And ultimately it was because I wasn't looking after myself, and like, you know, there were other issues. But like,
I thought you were going to say you forgot to close the door.
and they also, or I said it into my microphone.
Like Gordon Brown in the back of that taxi. Bigoted woman.
That's so funny. No, but I laughed far too loud there, sorry. But I think like I felt locked into something, or that I'd backed myself into a corner of a career, and I was just having these moments of like, do I really want to do this? Like, then I auditioned for drama school, and I was in drama school, and I'm fucking I'm getting myself into mass amounts of debt, and I'm like, I don't even want to do this. Do you know what I mean? And I think because it's so nerve-wracking, and there's always worry about being shy. Like even this, you know what I mean? You're recording yourself and you're like, that's there forever. Fuck, brilliant. I fucked that. I just told the rest of Scotland to go fuck themselves. That's there forever. You know, there's this kind of constant fear of like making an arse of yourself. So the negative thoughts start slipping in, like, is this worth it? Do you actually want to do this? Because it does get fucking embarrassing.
I relate to that big time. So we've got 50 hours of this shit out there.
The amount of fucking stories I've told about cunts I went to school with, and they're like, oh, why are you talking about that? I didn't think you would listen to this.
No, but even on stage and stand up, you know, especially when you're starting out, but even now, like, you know, doing new material, whatever, you're always on stage, and if it's not going well, you're like, it's the most embarrassing feeling ever when you're dying your arse.
Especially if it's a personal story or whatever you've told.
Absolutely. Well, it's even worse when it's that, because then you're like, not only am I put myself out there and make myself vulnerable, but it's also not funny.
Have you developed a thicker skin to that? Like, you know how Norm Macdonald, almost, you watch his stuff and you almost enjoy when the jokes don't go down well as well. Like, it's so...
That's part of his thing though, isn't it? It's like almost anti-comedy sometimes. Yeah.
And so, do you feel that, like, as long as I enjoy it or I find it funny, this is worthwhile?
Sometimes
more than I used to, but nah, not fully.
Sometimes when it's going that badly and you've still got so long to go, that's all you can really rely on is go, but I'm just going to need to try, you need to set yourself a wee goal, right? I'm just going to try and deliver these jokes as best I can.
Like I'm on the telly.
Or you go, I'll just try and do a wee bit for me or whatever, but it's never enjoyable when you're having to rely on that, not at all.
I did it in school, in the school talent show. I remember walking in and I was like,
you did a set?
A set, if you could call it that. Like, my jokes were like, asked for an Xbox for Christmas and I got a box of eggs. Now you'd be surprised how well that went down. But I was really surprised that it went down well. People in school were really supportive. Having getting slagged off for doing drama for so long, I walked into school that day and I was like, this could be the end of my, like, you know, social career. I was like, this will be slagged off forever. But I think they were actually so amazed at someone going up and giving it a go confidently that they were like, laughing more than like it was due. Do you know what I mean? Like they were giddy with me. So it was a very specific scenario. I don't think I could go out into the real world and do stand up the way that you used to do it because you don't have that support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I done the school talent show. I hosted it with my mate, and that was the first sort of kind of. But I compared it. Yeah.
Did you get paid?
No, but it was we were trying to do bits and all that, and one of my first jokes on stage would have been it was for comic relief, and we wrapped up a comic and then kind of wanked it off a wee bit.
That's really good.
Starting to understand why you buried that joke book in the woods.
That was the joke book.
Right, so
at school
you wrapped up a comic book.
The relief of having a wank.
Yeah, comic relief. Yeah.
And was this at school? You got away with wanking jokes?
We kind of done it like so. We didn't put any welly into it at all. So we just kind of went, this is for comic relief. So this is kind of done it under
Brushed over it.
yeah, kind of brushed over it.
What age were you at this point? Was this
6 years?
6 years, right?
That
So,
was
okay,
six.
I was 6 years old. So it was good stuff for that
Yeah.
age.
Wow.
Did anyone notice that gag? Did they laugh?
Nah. Some people were like, because we told people we were going to do it, so they're like, oh, he's going to do that in front of the teachers and all that. And then they were like, we've seen the bit that you done it. But it wasn't like funny.
It was just for those, just for those in the know.
It was more of a yeah.
It's like Norm MacDonald. It's better if it doesn't get a laugh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anti-comedy, what you're going for.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look where you are now.
Hey, come on.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I would have never had the confidence to do a talent show.
I didn't either.
But you're so,
But I was still doing it.
but you're so talented.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You would
And
have
you've got a
been
nice
in
face.
the talent show, not hosting it, Stu.
No, I would want nothing to do with it.
You started a band. You could have done your wee
Oh,
band.
that wasn't a proper band though. No, I'd be way too shy to do that. Were you
yeah.
in the talent show?
No, but weirdly enough, I was cleaning out my room the other day and I found my yearbook for primary school and it's like best memory and stuff. And a couple of my mates went up and done an only an excuse thing at the end of like primary 7 or something, and it was brilliant. And like they done wee voices and all that, and like pure everybody singing. It's like favourite moments, like when they done the only an excuse at the talent show, and I was always like, it was fucking good. I think a couple of them could have done comedy once, but I was always like,
Yeah.
Man, that's
just
good.
shows you,
That's a
like-
good outcome. In primary school, I got up and sang the fucking Geely Peace song, and then I just got a nickname for the rest of my life. Do you know how there's do you know the Geely Peace song?
You can't throw your pieces at a flat or something.
20-story flat. Anyway,
You're
I
grand.
got up and sang some line, and I got a verse, and I was like, I'm no going back to school anymore. Right? No, I'm not going back out to play. I'm talking about like pure pushed Scots.
Yeah,
It was
only
I'm
mare, this
no
one.
going to play anymore. And then I just got called the Onimere kid. Fucking right. So I was in P5, and the boys in P7 were like fucking pissing themselves. Oh, Onimere. Like who the fuck talks like that? And then they left and went to secondary school. And I had 2 years apeace, in primary. Then
Jelly
first-
piece.
Aye,
I would love it
And
if
then first day of fucking secondary school was, Onimere kids here, Onimere.
it'd be so funny if you'd accidentally slipped into saying Oni Mayor in this upcoming thing that you just filmed, and it's going to be out there for everybody. The entire world will now know you as the Oni Mayor kid.
The Onimere kid, man.
He
Fucking
will only be acting in Hollywood. Only me.
very good. Very good. Onimere kid. Fucking so embarrassing.
You've done bands and stuff like that as well. I was speaking about Stu's wee band. Are you in a band, or were you in a band, or is it still ongoing?
We will play again.
Okay.
But it was very a side piece. Do you know what I mean? And it's got other actors from my year in drama school in it. So it's always like when I'm out of work, they're in work, and vice versa. Actually, they work more than me. Who am I kidding? So I'm the one always pushing this band, and they're like, I will get round to it. So I would like to record with them again.
Do you want to plug your band? What you called?
But the thing is, I don't like some of the recordings online, but we're called Velcro Love, which we get slagged off for a lot.
I like that name. I think that's good.
Good name.
Well, it's called it's after unshaven sex. It's like pubes rubbing off each other. Velcro Love
All right.
is the idea behind it. Doesn't match the sound, or none of the fans like it. I say fans in inverted commas because it's all our dads.
Have you ever tried to record that sound of pubes rubbing against each other?
Some
Or
ASMR.
You're onto something,
at
man.
the start of the album?
Velcro Love. Fuck you. That might explain it to people.
Yeah.
And then they might fucking get it. But yeah, but I don't like some of our
You've
recordings.
got a live album on there, though, right?
I like the live one. I don't like the other stuff because I felt like getting used to recording yourself is a bit of a process. So, it sounds good in a room, and then when you're actually just like splitting up the parts, I was terrible at that.
Right.
And I'm only just getting into it now, so I'm quite embarrassed at all the stuff that we've put out.
But you do a mean. I want you to do this for us because you do a mean Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I do a bit. I don't know if it's more an old Paul McCartney, isn't it?
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
hey man, it's him now. Like, oh, rock on, woo! That's what I do. And people seem to enjoy it.
I love it because it was. I seen a clip of you doing it with like Tommy and Connor and stuff at Christmas, and you were singing What's his mad Christmas song called?
It's
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah, but all I did was kind of bob your head like that and go,
It was nice to see it
rock
live.
on, Jamesy. All that kind of stuff. But I would like to master the young McCartney at some point. That would be cool. He's a different man back then.
It's a hard one. I don't know, you stupid thing. It was like I was in a hotel in like Nottingham or something. I was doing the Glee, and it was when Glastonbury was on last year, and he'd done that thing, and he kept doing all these big like speeches in between songs, and he was doing that when he was talking about the screen that had John Lennon on it and the isolated his vocals. Like, Pete Jackson, he said, we can get John on stage and all that shit. So he's done a mad stupid video doing that, and then just like I deleted it like 2 minutes later because everyone's like, this is shite.
Lost faith in it.
He's not from Birmingham and that. And I was like, no, I'll just leave that to fucking Steve and you guys that do these type of videos. I'll just stick to doing fucking stand up.
Well, that's what Tim Heidecker was doing it. Did you see Tim Heidecker in Glasgow?
I saw it, yeah.
He even had a McCartney bit in it, and he kept going, "Hey, rock it, man! I know you will."
I was like, he's ripping off Martin.
I know. How's he seen my bit?
My impression of McCartney, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You like quite a lot of different weird guys like Tim Heidecker, and you mentioned Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
You're quite comedy literate.
Do you think?
Aye, I would say so.
Yeah, I like the oddballs. I think.
Yeah.
Like Tim Robinson? I think you should leave, and then also fucking Eric Andre show. That's probably my favourite show because it's so fucking erratic.
And I can see that in your like sketches online and stuff that you put out. You've got.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think it's just the alternative comedy. I think is like so important to try and push. Otherwise, we all just end up doing like Scottish patter talking about being Scottish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're so much more than that.
Yeah, I would agree.
But the oddball stuff is what I'm interested in, maybe because it does make you feel like less of an oddball yourself. You're like, right, I'm not the only fucking guy who's worried about that. Do you know what I mean?
And do you think, is that because, I mean, you said that you were in Limmy's show and that was one of your heroes. Is that the reason, or were you into kind of weirder stuff before that?
It might be Limmy's show. I also think my mate that I was talking about earlier, who like half my part is written by him, he's really into weird stuff. Like, he's big into Tim and Eric, and he would, whenever I'm trying to make something, he always gets annoyed if I tie it up nicely in a nice bow. Do you know what I mean? He wants it to be open-ended and uncomfortable every time. But that's harder sell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy
Yeah.
to say that to somebody when you're not the one doing it. But
Yeah.
when you're the one doing it, you're like, it'd be nice if this could be palatable for
Yeah, it'd be nice if they had a punchline.
Yeah, and like, otherwise you're left being like, is that sketch over?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he really likes that, not knowing. I mean, I do love the Tim Robinson stuff that is like, goes into almost a serious moment. Like, the one that he does with Bob Odenkirk,
Yeah.
or the one when
That's great.
the end of the fucking the cum shot
shots
one,
and all that.
and it's just a
Ghosts.
sad ending. Like, do you
That
make any
ending's
friends?
crazy.
That's such a beautiful ending. I fucking
I
love
got
that, man.
goosebumps.
Yeah, same.
And the same with the Bob Odenkirk one. I got
Yeah.
goosebumps at that. I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, but I think that's... Yeah, I don't know. I agree that's not really a punchline, but it does add so much to this fucking
It's an
mental
ending.
thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good fucking... Yeah, I like stuff like that, and when it's kind of... taps into another genre and then comes back to comedy or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm not as fully formed as you guys. You guys have it down.
I don't know about that, but we've got moments. But then it's just because that's what we've mainly pursued like the last, obviously, like fucking decade or whatever now. So doing stand up, like you mentioned that you've done like a lot of stage, and obviously you've done some like telly and act, like screen stuff as well. Like, so what do you prefer it at the stage or the screen?
I don't know.
Or what is the difference? Because I've not done a lot of acting, so like, how do you need to change things up for telly versus doing like a play or whatever?
I think, fuck knows actually. I used to get pure in my head in front of a camera because of the drama school that I went to. It was kind of called. It was a bit posh, and it was like, we're a classical training, so like they would hardly throw any screen stuff at us. So when I did get in front of a camera, I was fucking hyperventilating because you're like, oh my god, this is going to be out there forever. You know what I mean? And you couldn't tell how big you were being or whatever, and I'd really freak myself out. But I now enjoy it more because it feels a little. The more I'm doing it, it feels a bit more like, right, let's just throw paint at the wall and see kind of what sticks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in theatre, it feels I'm actually quite anxious around theatre because so much can go wrong in live shows. Do you know what I mean? Whereas stuff goes wrong in film, you're just like, right, we'll just go back, will we? Do you know what I mean?
You get another take.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is what I'm more used to, like doing theatre. I kind of resign myself to, like, you know, if I could just maintain a career in Scottish theatre, that would be fucking class. And then it just so happens that I managed, probably when I stopped trying so hard at these fucking auditions, that then I did get some of the telly stuff.
You were in like Dairy Girls and stuff like that for an episode.
And then
that's fucking huge show, big deal.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was terrified on that, and like it just felt like a total. And they kept being like, "Martin, you're in the background. Can you stop moving?" Whereas like on stage, you're encouraged to like stay alive all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, and you know, it's almost like applauded. Like, oh my god, look at that guy over there twitching throughout this scene. He's amazing, even though I'm just drawing attention to myself. But you know, on screen they're like, you're really killing that joke that's in front of you, Martin. Could you not do it? So it was a bit of a head fuck, but I think I do enjoy. I would like to do more filming purely so that I could explore it a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's so interesting what you say about you started having more success in auditions when you stopped caring so much as well. Like, because that must be so. I've not done too many auditions, but it must be very nerve wracking when you're going in and stuff like that. And do you feel that that's where you need to get to that point where you just are a bit less, you know, like concerned about the outcome of it?
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm any like master of this at all. So like, and this is just like me still trying to figure it out. But I do think when a good audition or a recall or like a second recall came about, I was putting myself under so much pressure that I was like so anxious that I couldn't really do anything. You know, and I went to drama school to try and get over the nerves because I was shite at auditioning, and then I left drama school and I was still fucking nervous. And I think it was because of this pressure that I was putting on myself. I remember there was like a part in a comedy show, I can't remember what it's fucking called, but I really thought I should have got the part because in the recall they loved what I was doing and they were really laughing. And I remember leaving like, and I hadn't really got much work at this point, and I was like, this might be it. Like, I might get my first kind of TV gig since Limmy's show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool. Then I got another recall and I was just so nervous. Like, I put so much pressure on myself that my like default was to go back to like being loud because that's what I knew on the stage. If in doubt, just project. And I was like, right. And then they were like, can you just bring down the volume and just talk to me like this? Like, they were basically stripping back acting to like the basics because they wanted me to do well, and I could tell during it I was putting myself under so much pressure that it wasn't going to happen for me. And I think then pandemic probably humbled loads of people and was like, right, this might not fucking happen, and accept that this might not happen because you're not the most important thing in the world. There are other more important things. And then I started getting work again in Scottish theatre post-pandemic, and I was like, right, cool, see if I can just get this. That's fucking great because it's a closed shop, Scottish theatre as well. Like, a lot of people struggle to break into that, and I've managed to like be grateful for that. That's a fucking cool scene to be in, and just don't worry about the TV stuff. View the TV editions as practice for acting because you're not getting a lot of practice at the moment. And when I just started doing it like that, I started feeling like if I viewed it as practice, I was starting to not fear getting it wrong, and I started to enjoy it a little bit more, and I think that was a big difference for me, doing what I wanted to do with it as opposed to being like, I need to get the job, what does he want out of me, what do they want out of me, you know what I mean? So
good advice.
Great advice, yeah.
well, yeah, but it's not like I'm saying that as if I've mastered it. I don't get that many auditions through, so I'm still nervous as fuck whenever they come up.
Yeah.
I find.
But it's true, it's a true principle, and it's like with stand-up as well. It's like when you try and second guess what an audience wants for you, that's when you start fucking up.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to go out there and do it, and then if it doesn't work, then it's just a case of like we were saying earlier on. It's
You talk about that in dating as well, don't you?
It's true, but it's true of life, man. And you know what I mean? It's like when you care too much, it's like when you go on a date and you care too much about the other person thinks, you're going to fuck it up because you're not being yourself.
But it's a hard balance, though, isn't it? Because I've worried about going into a date or even into like an audition acting too much like I don't care just exudes arrogance. So it's a real balance in
Because
it.
you can overshoot it, because then if you try and act too cool, then you'll just say something overly harsh or something with your
Which that looks insecure on the other end as well.
Absolutely. So that, and then it's like that whole, you know, playing games, oh, wait 8 hours to text, but all that shit, you just have got to be yourself and let the chips fall with the
Are
main.
you waiting 8 hours because that's the working day, so it makes you look like you've got a job?
I texted 8:59 and 5:01. That's what I texted.
Oh, tough day.
No, but no, people say that they've got weird rules.
Yeah,
I think it's all comes from a place of insecurity. But I know you've got to be like, there's a thing called the indifference threshold, and actually, like, there's a couple of people like talk about it. If you ever read like books of comics or actors and stuff like what you're saying, it's like when you get to a point where you stop giving so much of a fuck and you can actually just be yourself.
I'm imagining these books are like how to shag women. Is that what the game or something like that? All right.
Actually, what I'm thinking is Michael McIntyre's book, because there's a bit in that and he talks about you still always do jonglers and all that, and then it basically got to a point where it was just like, he just goes, I just stopped caring. And then there's also a bit in Stuart Lee's book, which is obviously a very different comic, where he says basically the same thing when you start treating them like a cat and you kind of like, or it's like a cat with a fucking wee ball of string or whatever, and it's all about indifference. But that's so true of just life as well, you know.
But yous are amazing though. Like, I think stand-up's going out into the audience. Like, you've always got your scene partner when you're acting. You do occasionally, you come out and you're doing a monologue to the audience, right? But they actually don't come up that much in auditions. Maybe if I was going up for leading roles, it would. But I think what yous do is fucking amazing, because it is also you presenting you. I know you can go out and be a different version of yourself, but it feels like more's on the line. Whereas I've got the writer when I'm going out there, and I'm like, the two of you are going out in a kind of weird wanky way, but do you know what I mean? Like, you can rest on the fact you've got the words of someone else that you trust. Sometimes you don't trust them, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you guys have, it's yourself that you're putting out there. I think it's amazing, and I applaud it.
Because we've done sketch shows as well, and it's such a different thing when you're doing stand up. Obviously yourself, but when we've done sketches, it's a nice feeling when you're up getting laughs with your pals and stuff.
Yeah, same as when we do the live podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I'm always envious of people who've got a background in acting or whatever when it comes to performing, because when I'm up there, I just like, I mean, you rely on your jokes, and for me it's like my writing and stuff like that as well, but it's like I always kind of go, I wish I had a wee bit more acting chops or something, just so that you could maybe use that to an extent more, because it's all like, I always look at it like the way it's like MMA or something. It's like, because you've got in MMA, you've got the stand up, which is when they're actually up fucking standing punching each other, and then you've got the ground game. And I think like with comedy, the ground game stuff like acting and sketch and improv and all that sort of stuff, where it's like, you know, like it's just a different aspect, and to be more well rounded as a like in comedy in general, I think it's good to have skills and all those different.
Do you use much of your taekwondo on stage?
Yeah, quite a lot of
For the hecklers, man.
I just wish I could deck cunts.
I think there's loads of stuff where they try and make you feel like, you know, you might have a chip on your shoulder, say you've not done some drama classes or not gone to a drama school, and I think a lot of that stuff is there by design. Like, you know, they make it seem like you really need to get a good training in you to be a good actor, and I'm like, I don't know. I actually think a lot of comedians are fucking brilliant actors, because I think they just get it or something. I don't know. I think a lot of comedians who turn to acting understand
you get like
really well.
fucking Robin Williams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not like groundbreaking, but he's got such a great like range and stuff, and he's a good actor when you watch him and stuff.
I always kind of hope that I could get away with it, just with the just having done so much stuff on stage. Yeah, like if I was ever doing an audition, or even just like if I've done a wee acting class or something, you've at least got that head start on somebody who's just never been on a stage or anything before.
Yeah, I think like anything, looking comfortable is half the battle.
Yeah. But also the humility of realising like you've got stuff to learn, if you know what I mean. Like, my little brother is a journalist, and he was doing a course, and he was having to talk to the camera, and I was like, mate, do you want me to like just talk you through some, you know, stuff that I do with like thoughts and, you know, and lines that I get? And he was fucking raging even as I was suggesting that. He was like, aye, maybe, man. Anyway, I better do this now. And I was like, right, fucking hell. But, you know, it's having that, not that I could have helped him. He probably is sorting himself out. But, you know, like, it's having that humility into it to be able to be like, maybe there is something I could work on. But the humility can go too far, and you're out there and you're like, there's something I'm missing. There's something I'm missing. Do you know what I mean?
And you've kind of got to go. I think the thing with stand up, I think this is probably true acting as well, I'd imagine, but it's like, it's at a certain point, because you go like, you want to be more well rounded and you want to develop skills and all that, but at a certain point you're working with the hand you've been dealt. And if you're a certain, you know, it's like if you get typecast, you're a certain type of person, you're going to get a certain type of roles. On stand up, like there's certain jokes that you can get away with as one type of person and known as another. Maybe you just come across too harsh saying something that somebody that's got a bit more darker sense of humour or whatever, or the audience perceived differently, would be able to pull off. And you just kind of need to accept that.
Do you find that? Is there points because, say, you come across as pleasant, if you hit out with shock humour, it's actually like, oh.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a big mistake a lot of people make when they start out.
When you start, you've not really figured out who you are on stage, so you sort of get it wrong a lot. Yeah. And it's like if you go on, like, say, for instance, like Ryan Cullen or something like that, who's like a very funny one-liner comedian, very dark, and like he could go on, he'll do a joke about the Holocaust or something, and then I'll mention, like, I don't know, fucking
Frank and passing.
I don't know, just fucking anything. And they're like, oh, and you're like, listen, that's 1% as shocking as anything Ryan said, but his is a full character that's all makes sense contextually.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, that's out of step with what they perceive me to be.
Again, it's like life though, isn't it? Like I find sometimes, because I'm quite pleasant to people, then if I start being assertive, like, no, I don't want to do that, people are like, whoa, bro, fucking put the fists down. And I'm like, no, I was just saying I don't want to do it. But it's like what they perceive of you.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking change. You don't like change.
No.
That's the thing to take away.
But I can imagine that's probably the case with acting as well, as I say, like, where there's, like, you know, you kind of go, right, this is, I suppose that's what they call range, I suppose, isn't it? But, like, there's a certain, you know, I'll be this type of role a lot of the time or whatever, and there's, I guess you can fucking, it can change so much with acting as well, but do you know what I mean? Do you ever accept, you kind of go, right, this is this is what I can do, and the stuff that I can or whatever.
I think there was a bit of, because like I say, at the classical training at the drama school, there was a real desire from everyone, because I think it was maybe getting a little bit outdated, but they were trying to make us all into like the handsome leads, do you know what I mean? And so standing and being able to like hold a play and all this kind of stuff. There was a lot of like good lessons in that, but also it was a bit like, I'm probably never going to play that. Like, I'm probably like small, hunched over, wiry kind of, I don't know.
The daffy pal kind of role.
Yeah, buttons. Do you know what I mean? Wishy-washy or whatever. I don't know. I just think there was less emphasis on that. Do you know what I mean? That accepting your casting. I have a really embarrassing memory from drama school when we were doing voiceovers, and you were to come in with like different adverts that you'd heard, voiceover adverts, and I brought in a fucking car advert. It was like a sexy voice, and there was me in front of the rest of my classmates and my girlfriend at the time trying to do a sexy voice, and all of them being like, it was me talking like that. And it just sounded creepy.
She's like, I'm gonna have to blame this on the hair growing out. I can't say it was the voice.
Yeah, I know. It'll break them.
Just imagine like auto glass repair. Autoglass replace.
But it was just that way, me really trying to push something that I'm not. I'm not saying I'm not sexy all the time. I have my moments.
Hey,
you can take multitudes.
I can take multitudes. What does that
mean? You can take multivitamins.
I can take
multivitamins. You're not using renounced pronunciations.
I can take multitudes.
You contain multitudes.
Okay.
Just means, you know, the duality of man. Steve's favourite concept.
This is what I meant
on the wrong way the whole fucking podcast.
This is what I meant. In the car here, I says, don't make references I don't understand.
You'll freak out.
I'll freak out, and then I'm sweating. I'm thinking about that.
I don't know if you done this audition. Maybe you did, but I've only done a handful of self tapes and stuff. But I done the Neds audition. There was an open audition for Neds, the film.
Aye.
Peter Mullan's directorial debut, maybe. I don't know.
Tell him I'm going to kick his cunt.
It's good advice in the films that day one you turn up to the biggest guy and kick his cunt.
Kick Peter Mullan's cunt on day one on set. So I fucking went into that. I would have been about 16 or something like that, 16, 17.
Did you have your comic wrapped up in your hands?
So wanking off a comic in front of him. And it was his brother who was doing the casting, but it was an improvised casting, so they just give you this information when you go in, and it was like, you have to pretend that. No, well, obviously I've acting as pretending, but it's
you might want to take some notes, man.
Pretend to be someone else.
You have to pretend to be a Ned in this scene, and it was like, you have to think that you want to kill this guy who was fucking Peter Mullan's brother, who was quite an imposing, scary cunt at the time when you're 16.
Sounds like time to tap into the pedo thoughts.
Go to the dark place.
It was like, you need to have this thought that you're going to kill me, but you can't say why. You can't say the reason why. So I was just a wee fucking dweeb, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, man. And he was like, oh yeah, why is that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna fucking do it. And I just had no like self-awareness. I obviously wasn't.
That's a fucking ask though.
I know, because they didn't. Because even if they told us beforehand, I would have at least prepared for what I could do or whatever. But
I think sometimes though, when they're auditioning people, they ask too much. Sometimes they send like fucking 8 or 9 pages, and you're like, do you think I have nothing else to do?
Yeah, you can spend, because I get put up for these auditions as well and rarely get them, but you spend like all weekend learning these fucking lines.
Yeah.
And like they'll just glance at the video
And then they move on. I know, but I
they
think
do ask too much.
if they're really good casting directors, they give you a brief amount, that's good, and then they'll be able to tell from that. I didn't realise that yous were all going up for the same parts as well. This is an eye opener.
I think it's the only time that's happened.
Yeah,
certainly
that's
for me.
Because that was before I had an agent as well. They must have been, they were really good at, I think they were just like, bring me every man in Scottish comedy.
They just I emailed the comedy club or something and then just...
got some names.
I was out for dinner with Liam Withnail and I got you know how sometimes it has a phone number and then it says where it's from? It said Los Angeles.
Aye,
so
that's right.
I got to take this,
phone
baby.
call,
See you later.
Hollywood call.
Oh, they got in touch with you directly then?
They fucking phoned me. I was in non-Viet with Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, it's just because like in Scottish theatre anyway, whenever you don't get a part, you're always like, well, that'll go to my mate who looks just like me. Do you know what I mean? And there's like, they're like, right, Ryan will get that or Dylan will get that. Whereas now that I realise users are going up for the same, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's got more saturated than I realised.
Yeah.
But
none of us are getting these
Nah.
roles.
No.
It's
No, yous
always
will,
an
but
actor.
I think I'm
We were
saying,
just glad it was an actual Scottish guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but yous will because yous are like I said, I think comedians sometimes are fucking secretly the best actors. Like, I think yous will land something and it'll be brilliant because you'll fuck off all the Scottish actors. They'll be like, fuck them, man.
We hate it when actors do stand up as well.
Do you know? Because actors get it all the time. That's the thing. Actors are always like that. Man, we should set up our own podcast, man. Man, we should do our own stand-up. I should do stand-up. And you're like, I don't know. I think it's all different. You know what I mean? I also think when actors want to set up their own podcast, I'm always nervous because it's like the audacity to think that just because your partner with your mate's good, that everyone's going to want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you already have a following who like your stand-up set, so it would make total sense, like, get it in front of a microphone, and immortalise it.
I mean, I feel like I'm glad that we started this when we did. If we'd started it when we started stand-up, because I think just doing comedy for years gives you a bit of a sixth sense of like what stuff to bring up and all that, and we've known each other for years and all that as well. Whereas, like, we certainly wouldn't have had that when we started doing it. It would have been a different thing, I think.
Loads of people. I mean, there was a last year in my year in school.
Also, you do think, I'm sure there is cunts out there that are like, these cunts are talking shit. Why do I listen to this?
No, I don't think so. That fucking, I went to go see the live one, which was brilliant.
Thank you.
And fucking cunts love yous. It's great.
Surprised.
That's the people that turn up. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have listened and are like, I'm never fucking listening to this shit again. But
I don't know. No, but people are fickle. The people who will say that, give it 6 months' time, and I don't know, someone's shared it that they follow, and then they'll be fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, people turn all the time.
Yeah.
There was a comedian that I didn't like because he just made one joke that I didn't like. Then I saw loads of his videos. I was like, I fucking love this guy.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it just people don't know what they're into.
How does your pal feel about you now? Is he kind of on board now after slagging you for years for doing the acting?
Yeah, he's
you go.
great. I mean, I was on Bridge of Lies. Do you know this game show? And he says that's the best thing I've done, even though I've been on like TV and theatre and that,
isn't it?
which is really annoying.
Is that the
Yeah.
Ross Kemp thing?
Yeah. And
What's he like? Is he alright?
he was nice. He was really tired by the end. We were like the last people, but it was really intense.
Spent all night with gangs, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did you tell him you would kick his cunt in?
he was done in, and then what did he say? Oh, he wasn't really up for taking a joke. So like, but I think just but it was
With some
more,
of your jokes that you've said to different
Yeah, we're about
celebrities.
to get an anecdote of him being smashed going up to Ross Kemp at the end
You
of
ever
the
had
long day.
pedo thoughts?
but he was kind of like, I said something like, oh no, I'm an idiot, and he was like, no, you're not an idiot. And I was like, oh, I'm joking, like, but he was quite serious by the end of it. But also I was very well behaved on that show because I'd helped them do, my mate was a producer and I'd helped them do like they wanted people to come in and test another game show a couple of weeks before, 1 and 6 Zeros with Dara O'Brien, right? And I went in and I thought I was so fucking funny. I was like swearing all the time. And then backstage they were like, Martin, I know it's just like a practice, but could you stop swearing so much? Then when I was on for the Ross Kemp one, I was really like, oh my goodness. Like I was really like my pleasant voice.
Like Alan Kilming's there.
Finally it was useful. Finally, man.
And you've now, I seen, taken on a young up-and-coming partner in some recent sketches. Young Stephen Buchanan, I've seen, has popped up.
Take him under your wing.
He's taken me under his wing.
That sounded so disingenuous.
Steve's actually holding a gun to him.
Whenever I compliment people actually don't take it very seriously. I'm seeing a girl at the moment and I try and be like, you're lovely, you. And she's like, that sounds so sarcastic. Like you don't mean it. And
all those years of acting training still kind of convincingly say that.
It's just hard, isn't it, to sound, I don't know, to sound like you're not taking the piss out of people.
Yeah, I kind of cringe if I'm trying to give compliments romantically.
Yeah.
I don't think I can pull it off that well.
What kind of stuff do you say?
No, if I'm just like, oh, you're looking nice or you look lovely or whatever, I just feel like I'd sound so fake, even if it's true.
What in the bedroom though?
even in the rare case where it's true.
It's usually true.
But what about in the
Cut
bedroom?
to Steve's growing his hair out.
Are you more comfortable though when it's getting heated?
Now we're getting into it. Some Velcro love.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean? Are you able to compliment in those situations?
No. I mean,
You just go quiet.
It's aggressive, I imagine.
What?
I'm legit.
Come on, you're the horny one
Oh,
here.
shut
So come on, you should be telling us. I can't pull off dominance. No, I can't do that.
No, I never asked that. Politeness, you ever compliment like, oh, you're so, I don't know, what do people say in the bedroom? You're so hot.
I can't pull any of that off.
Are you just a silent shagger?
So thanks for joining us, Martin. We've done an hour and
Sounds
20.
like the next sketch.
Is that an hour and 20?
27 actually.
That'll be enough to cut out bad stuff.
At least
there,
that
won't it?
stuff.
I mean,
Shagging stuff.
listen, we've all had fun here.
Do you not? I wanted to segue into shagging the whole time there.
It's just because I'm worried that my family listening. I'm like, I don't really.
He always says that and then he just speaks normally anyway.
Entire career's fucking been derailed by 3 people you know your personally.
Do you talk about wanking on this? Do you not know? Have I seen you talk about wanking on this? No, you've probably just talked to me.
Just
Comic
wanking off
relief
comic
stuff, yeah.
books and stuff, but like not myself. I don't think.
Right. Sorry, that's really bad. You were all laughing and you'll hear me in the back.
Definitely.
What about in the bedroom? What about in the
Martin, the
bedroom?
thing is, I think when you're listening to this, you are wanking. Is that
That is what's happening. I always get that mixed up. Wanking is even more. Well, yeah, hopefully
Do you
that's.
ever get, do you ever get sick of wanking, Ian?
No, never.
Do you ever hate wanking? So I think that covers it for this week. Thanks a lot for joining us, Martin.
Thank
Cheers,
you, Martin.
Martin.
Very funny stuff.
Nice to see you,
It
man.
wasn't. It was very serious.
I liked it.
As we've covered, obviously there's a thing that you've got coming this year to look out for people we can't mention at the moment. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Nah.
No?
The live album on Spotify.
The live album on Spotify, aye, you could listen to that, yeah, if you want.
Velcro
I
love.
think.
Even just your social handles or anything.
Oh yeah, what do you follow me? Martin Quinn _94 if you want.
No, thanks for doing it, man. As ever, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at SomeLaughPod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. And send any questions you'd like to ask us to somelaughpod@gmail.com. But until next time, guys, we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Martin.